welcome to my kitchen. I would just like to thank you guys for picking me for this part. I am so honored and I will not let you guys down. So today I will be making a stuffed tomato puff pastry dish. But before we get started, let me just set up my kitchen. Let me grab my cutting board. Oh, little tip I want to tell you guys. If your cutting board is sliding around a little too much, just take a little towel, get it nice and wet, and just slide it underneath your cutting board. And look, it doesn't slide around anymore. All right, so I think we're ready to get started. So first, let me make my dough. Let me just set my bowl. First, I'm going to add my flour. I will add about 1 cup of flour into my mix. And now I'm going to add 1/4 cup of olive oil. All right, get my bowl over here. All right, now we're gonna add our 1/4 cup of cold water. All right. Yep, and 1/4 cup. And half a teaspoon of salt. All right, now you can use a whisk or anything, but I prefer to use my hands. Just knead it real well. Now that you got your dough all kneaded up, it's time to start rolling. This recipe makes about 4 balls. So let me just rip this in half, rip it in half one more time, rip this in half one more time. And now I'm going to put 2 back because I'm only making 2. All right, now I'm going to put 1 off to the side and get my rolling pin out. I'm just using an empty water bottle. So you need to make sure it's super paper thin because you don't want it to be all big and crunchy at the bottom. A little trick I use to give it a little flavor is I just dip my hands in some butter and knead it into it. Let me flip that over. All right, let me get back to rolling it out. All right, so that took me about 10 minutes. It takes a little bit of time and requires a lot of strength. Well, now let's see if they fit in the muffin tins. So you need to lift this up very carefully because you don't want to break them. They're very fragile. Now I'm just going to press it in there. Squish it into all the edges. All right, now I'm going to do the second one. Again, be very careful. And it's okay if it has a couple of holes in it, it won't matter. All right, now squish it against the walls. All right. And it looks like it's a perfect fit. So you're gonna have a lot of excess. So my way of doing it is just take your fingers and just pinch it off. tear off all the excess. So I just pinch the corners and tear off the excess. So it's time to toss these in the oven. I am putting them in at 400 degrees for around 10 minutes. Alright, now let me start my timer. Alright, now let me show you the ingredients you will need to make the stuffing. You will need an onion, celery stalk, some cheese, and 6 ounces of sweet Italian sausage. Now let me grab my chopping knife and let's get cooking. Alright. Time-lapse mode, time-lapse mode. Please not now. Oh. Ah. They sting. Alright, so it looks like my shells are done cooking. So let me take them out. Place them here. Alright. Now let me turn that off. Alright, now time to get back to chopping. Alright, I just finished chopping up my onions, and that's where all the tears came from. So let me just take this handful, put it in my bowl. Alright, now I'm going to put my bowl over here with... Alright, now I'm going to measure my sausage. Yep, 6 ounces. Alright, now let me put this back. Alright, time to get chopping. Alright, so I just finished chopping my sausage. Now I'm going to put it in my bowl. Now let me put this over here with all my other ingredients. Since I was working with raw meat, I cleaned off my work area. So now it's time to grate my cheese. And you're going to need about half a cup, so this might take a while. Alright, so I just finished grating half a cup of cheese. So let me put this over here. Now, for the most important step, hollowing out the tomatoes. So over here, I have a wide selection of tomatoes. I have vine-ripe tomatoes, organic vine-ripe tomatoes, and heirloom tomatoes. What makes an heirloom tomato so amazing, they have way more flavor and very juicy. I would usually use these, but can't fit them in the muffin container. Sorry for the disappointment. So I will just be using the organic vine-ripe tomatoes. So I'm back with my 2 organic vine-ripe tomatoes, and now I will show you how to cut off the tops. You want these to be pretty perfect because you're going to be using these later on in a step. So you need a nice cut right about here. And now you're going to need a small spoon to hollow it out. This All right, so right here I have my 2 hollowed out tomatoes. Notice I saved the insides because you don't want to throw these away. You can use them for many things, like sauces and for salads and a bunch of other stuff. So let me just put these over here. And now it's one more step. I just have to cook my ingredients in a skillet. But before I do, I want to show you a quick little step to make the crust taste even better. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little egg wash. So egg wash is simply, and now for a splash of heavy cream. And I'm going to whisk it together with a fork. All right, now I'm going to move this over to the side and bring this up here. All right, now I'm just going to put a little on in the insides. Careful, because these are fragile. Don't want to break it. On the outside crust. And now for inside here. And now do the same for the other. And finally, a little bit of butter, because butter makes everything taste better. So that's it. These fit in here perfectly. So now our last step is all I need to do is start cooking the stuff back there. So let's get started. Now it is time to make our filling. Right now I have my burner on medium-high heat. And so let's get started. Right now I'm going to put in my olive oil. And now I will take about 2 or 3 handfuls of each ingredient. Now I'm putting in the onions. And some more celery. Now I'm going to let this sit for a minute while I get some salt and pepper. Alright, I cooked my onion and celery for a little bit before I put in my sausage. The reason I added a little bit more olive oil is because I am using organic meats. So keep on stirring this. Alright, I just cooked my onions until they're slightly brown, and now I'm going to add in my Italian sausage. If you notice, I've used equal amounts of all the ingredients, so one flavor doesn't overpower the other. Now that I browned my sausage, I will add a little more salt and pepper. Get this. And when I'm adding my cheese to my stuffing, a little trick is to add a splash of heavy cream so your cheese doesn't burn away. And now I'm going to move my cutting board so I have a place to put my hot pan. And make sure not to burn the cheese because it burns really fast. Now I'm just going to let this cool, and then when I get back I will fill these, I'll fill the stuffing and the tomatoes. So I just finished letting my filling cool. Now it's time to put in the tomatoes. Let me take off the top. And now you need to pack them in there real tight. All right. Now time to do the second one. And for a little topping, I'm going to add some cheese. Sprinkle around the edges. And a little bit for the other. And now I'm going to take a little bit of parsley. And a little bit for the other. Now I'm going to put the lids back on and put this in the oven for 8 minutes on 325 degrees. And now that I just put these in the oven, I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes, and that will be plenty of time to let me clean up my kitchen. So, I'll be right back. And now we wait for our delicious food. Oh, are we back? Sorry. I'm just eating my heirloom tomatoes because they are very tasty. Let me show you what I made. I made this. Oh, this looks amazing. Now you have a delicious stuffed tomato inside of a puff pastry dish. I can't wait to cook with all you guys. Bye. Bye. Get out. Bye. Bye. Oh, that's good. Are you recording?